I do not trust you. He may, but I do not.
Noted.
My friend's trust is not the issue today, Spartan Locke. It is my trust you must earn.
Arbiter?
You are a hunter, yes. A seeker of things.
That's not the official job title, but it's close enough.
And now you hunt other Spartans.
I'm not so much hunting a Spartan as I'm hunting the Spartan.
You seek.
117.
I was not told the identity of your prey.
That is why I'm sharing it with you now. We're talking about trust, after all. May I ask you something? Your people used to call him Demon. Was that an insult or a compliment?
An insult, to be sure, but one with a modicum of respect. He was indeed my enemy, but in time, I named him ally, even friend. The events which forged this bond were complicated.
Hi all, and welcome to the Game Impressions video. Today I'll be looking at the Halo Master Chief Collection. Now the collection is all 4 Halo games in one big bundle. Now if you're not aware, the first 3 Halo games are developed by Bungie Studios, and Halo 4 was developed by 343 Studios, and 343 Studios is continuing on the Halo games as I make this video. Now the main focus of the collection is Halo 2. It is Halo 2's 10th anniversary this year, therefore it has received most of the focus. The other games have all been upscaled to 60 frames per second, 1080p, to work on the Xbox One console. And Halo 2 has also received new cutscenes, or not new cutscenes, I should say, redone cutscenes by Blur Studios, which look fantastic. Now, as you saw before I started speaking this video, we met Agent Locke and he was talking to the Arbiter. Now, the focus of this collection is to put people into the footsteps of the Master Chief and see his journey over the 4 games. So in Halo Guardians, it's presumed that Agent Locke will be hunting down the Master Chief, or Spartan 117. And this is just to give an insight to Agent Locke on what the Master Chief has done until now.
You told me there wouldn't be any cameras.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief, to give them hope. So smile, would you? Well, we still got something to smile about.
Now, if the Master Chief Collection is a virtual museum, Halo 2 Anniversary is its gem. It is its main prize. The remake serves up an overhaul of the 2004 classic, packing fresh visuals, new sounds to go with the weapons and vehicles, and as I mentioned, it has new cutscenes done by Blur. Now, the cutscenes done by Blur are outstanding. It makes the game feel, just not as a remake, but makes it feel like a whole brand new game. They have redone the cutscenes to provide new experiences, and it provided me with a chance to become immersed with this game again. It made me feel like this game was new, something fresh to experience. It wasn't just a remake that other games have done before. It made me feel like I was learning Halo 2 for the first time again, or playing Halo 2 for the first time again. And in saying this, you're able to switch back and forth between the 2 games, and you can see what a big difference 10 years have made for the Halo franchise. Now, this may sound strange, but one of the things that stood out the most about Halo 2 Anniversary, as I just mentioned, is going back and forth between the graphics from 2004 to now. And the graphics are phenomenal. Like, just while you're playing the game, everything that is around you is so much more detailed and more... It's just better. I can't think of a good word to describe it at the moment. But being able to switch back and forth can just show you the difference. Like Halo 2 in 2004 was a lot more blockier, and everything, all the structures were sort of more block-based, and this one's, it's sort of, you can see more detail. You can see the curved shapes in the structures, the fine detail in a wall, or looking at the ground, you can see all the detail within the plants and other structures around it. Now, it just shows you how far they've come within 10 years. From the burst of a battle rifle to the sharp slice of an engine sword, all the Halo 2 sounds have been updated with new packages to give the combat a new immersive feel. In saying this, also the soundtrack has been redone as well. It has made the gunfights more tense and interesting, and also due to the guitar rock orchestra that redid the soundtrack while I was playing the game, and in these intense gunfights, I felt like banging my head along to the music, and it just felt like the Master Chief was going to go rock and roll and just kill everything in his path, and it felt great to have that feeling again within a Halo game.
Your pal, where's he going?
To finish what we started. And this time, none of you will be left behind.
Now, Halo's two new looks are glued together by immersive new cutscenes, which has used original dialogue from Halo 2 and has been turned sort of into a lifelike cinematic movie. So they've always said they've wanted to make a Halo movie, and sort of here's your Halo movie. It's an hour worth of gorgeous cutscenes, and it just drags you into the story. It doesn't let you go. It just keeps you locked in. Now, as I said, the new cutscenes are created by Blur Studios, and these new cutscenes have used real-time motion capture and detailed set pieces to add more emotion to some of the game's most iconic moments. So it gives it more emphasis on what you're sort of viewing at the time, and it made me feel, as I already said, I was experiencing this game for the first time once again. Now, the core gameplay of Halo 2 hasn't changed that much from the 2004 versions. A few buttons on the control scheme has changed, but nothing that changes how the game plays. It still feels as it was in 2004. And in saying that, seeing it was made in 2004 to 2014, a 10-year gap, Halo 2 still holds up as a fantastic shooter. Now, it still has its Halo 2 key features like sort of dual wielding two weapons at once, and also being able to jump on enemy vehicles and then kick them off and take control of it. And this is all done within 60 frames per second, 1080p, and it just provides a smooth experience for the player. Or I felt it was a smooth experience for myself anyway. Now, as I said at the start of this video, the Halo Master Chief Collection has all 4 games in it. Now, Halo 1 received its anniversary treatment in 2011 on the Xbox 360. So from the Xbox 360 to Halo 1, it has received sort of an upscaling graphics, but nothing has changed from that anniversary edition in the 360. The only thing that sort of has changed is the speed in which you're able to switch between old graphics and new graphics. It's done the same speed as the Halo 2 anniversary, it's just on the fly. Halo 3 and 4, as I've already said, has received upscale treatment, and they both look gorgeous. Run at 60 frames per second, 1080p, and they're phenomenal to play once again. It provides the gameplay with a smooth feeling for the player to go through each of the stories. Now, for me, I believe sort of Halo 4 was one of the surprises when I was playing. Even though it was only released a few years ago and it's not that old a game, it looks fantastic on the Halo 4, on the Xbox One, I should say, sorry. And it looks like it was made for the Xbox One. Now, I remember an article that I read when it was on the 360 and sort of said they couldn't achieve what they wanted to with the power of the Xbox 360, and it looks like they were able to achieve some of those goals within Halo 4 by putting it on the Xbox One, and it just looks great to play. And also, I find Halo 4 story really good, as it doesn't focus on the Master Chief, it focuses more on Cortana, and it's opened up the next trilogy of the game. Now, within the multiplayer, just like Halo 2 Anniversary, the Halo 2 multiplayer is sort of the crown jewel within the multiplayer. It has its 6 special maps within it that have been redone for the Anniversary Edition, and along with that, it also has 100 of the other maps. So it's got, I think, 106 maps in total, if I remember correctly. I'm not too sure. It is around that 100 mark. And having all these maps within the one game and all the different game types that Halo has had of these, so Capture the Flag, Team Multiplayer, Team Sailor, Rumble, and all the other ones, I can't remember all them all off the top of my head. It provides people who love multiplayer games, who love PvP, sorry, just trying to say, with a range of options that sort of won't get them bored really quickly. It keeps them fresh. And if you're not really into the multiplayer scene, you can jump in, you can have a few games, you can experience what it has, and you can decide whether or not you like it. But for me, I'm not a bit big on PvP, but I quite enjoy going back to these Halo 2 and these Halo Classic maps, which I haven't played for, say, 8 years, and it felt really good just to play with a bunch of friends, go online. It was a fantastic experience. I'm really glad I got to experience all the 6 new maps, and it sort of changed the way that these maps were played on. For my final thoughts towards the Halo Master Chief Collection, it succeeds at bringing different old things back to this new age of a first-person shooter, it holds up against your Call of Duties and your Battlefields, and it does it really well. Now, the single-player campaign, even though people might have, who are buying this game have already experienced all 4 games already, it is fresh. It feels fresh because I haven't, like for me, I haven't played these games in a long time, and it felt really good to be playing. On the PvP side, as I said, it's got a number of maps people can play, and it will keep it unique for each time to play, because they'll be playing a different map from a different Halo game if they want, and it won't become too repetitive for them. Now, if you're not a Halo fan and you haven't been a Halo fan before, this probably won't push you to buy a Halo game. You most likely won't find it that enjoyable if it wasn't able to drag you in sort of 10 years ago, because there's nothing changed within the story, there's nothing changed within the gameplay, it's still that same game. But for people who have played Halo before and who are a really big fan of the series, this is a must-have. Like having all 4 games in one disc, being able to customize the story that you want to play, so you can play with all the missions with all vehicles over the 4 games, or you can play the endings of all 4 games or the beginning of all 4 games. It lets you play the story that you want to play, and that's what the game is trying to achieve. It's trying to let you experience Master Chief's greatest moments to set you up for Halo 5 in 2015. So that's my thoughts on the game. Overall, as you can probably tell, I had a very positive experience with this game, and I'm going to continue to play it. It's most likely going to stay on my Xbox One for the remainder of the Xbox One life cycle. But thank you for watching, and leave any comments down below, and hit the like button if you did like this video and you would like to see more of sort of game impressions videos from me. And once again, thank you for watching.
1. Are you sure?
Yes. They called it the Pillar of Autumn.
Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet?
It fled as we set fire to their planet. But I followed with all the ships in my command.
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
Blinded?
Paralyzed? Dumbstruck?
No.
Yet the humans were able to evade your ships, land on the sacred ring, and desecrate it with their filthy footsteps.